Welcome to the Wake and Bake podcast. It's me, Quentin. I'm a Charger fan. There's Pete right there. He's a Patriots fan.
Good morning.
We talk about football in the morning while he bakes and I cook eggs. As always, if you like our podcast, like and subscribe because, I don't know, it'd be pretty cool if people were watching this. We'd like it to grow, let's be honest. Yeah. Wouldn't be horrible. If me and Pete could actually make some money, like talking about football, that would be that'd be a pretty cool dream realized. So, you know,
let's not get ahead of ourselves.
If you're down for that, yeah, let's not get ahead of ourselves. There's a good chance. There's a very strong chance that it's going to amount to nothing.
Yeah.
It's a flyer. It's a flyer. Hey, football teams do it.
That's right. It's a flyer that we can get the camera and microphones working, you know?
Yeah. You got any news to cover, Pete? Anything interesting that you stumbled upon in your football fandom?
We have the Patriots undrafted free agents signings.
Oh, you got some UDFA agents.
Official list.
Okay, yeah. Tell me what you found on the Patriots UDFAs.
I mean, nothing super.
For all you football laymen too, let me explain to you. So UDFA is an undrafted free agent. These are the guys that did not get taken in the draft. It's a pretty key thing. These guys get invited, they get signed to the team. There's been some cool players that have become something in the league, Hall of Famers from UDFA status. Antonio Gates is most famously one of those people. Walked in as a UDFA of a basketball team, never played football, went in, became one of the greatest tight ends in the game. And got inducted is getting into the Hall of Fame this year.
Yeah. I didn't know he was undrafted. I knew he played basketball. He was a basketball convert.
He was a UDFA, dude.
I didn't know that.
And the Chargers are doing it again with this Jimmy Bell Jr. guy. But I want you to finish, tell me what you found on the Patriots here.
I mean, the Patriots had a run of like 12 seasons in a row of having an undrafted guy make the opening day roster.
Make the team?
Yeah. And I think they broke that streak last year or the year before.
Dude, the Chargers had 5 last year.
5 guys?
UDFAs make the team. Either because the team's that bad or they're that good at inviting UDFAs. Maybe a combination of both.
They had a linebacker, Cam Riley from Florida State.
Who's that?
Cam Riley, linebacker.
Linebacker from Florida State? Was he in the draft?
Yeah, I think they're all, they all just are about to graduate. I think they were all in the draft.
Some of these guys, are in the draft. They just fall out.
Yeah.
They don't get taken. I mean, me and Brian were talking about this yesterday. It's pretty nutso. McLaughlin, who was the second rated center, undrafted. Majors was the 3rd rated top center, went undrafted. That's nuts to me.
Yeah.
That you can be in the top 3 of your position group, something as critical as center, and get undrafted. That's nuts.
And yet 15 tackles get drafted.
The guy you got?
No, I'm saying if only 2 centers get drafted.
Oh yeah, and then 15 tackles go. Yeah.
Larson from UC Davis, local guy.
Who's that?
Larson, running back. He's
Okay.
the career leader in in yards.
So another running back
from Davis.
because you know Trayvon Henderson. Little insurance policy on Trayvon. Not that I think you need one. He was a great pick.
Right. I mean,
He's one of the safer running back picks.
we're not looking at guys to unseat a second round pick here.
No, they're depth pieces, right?
Yeah, practice squad guys.
Well, in case somebody gets hurt too, right?
Yeah.
Dude, the Browns took Judkins and Sampson.
I know. It's crazy.
And Sampson, I watched his film yesterday just for the hell of it. Dude, Sampson has really good film. Who was it? I don't agree with this at all. Chris Collinsworth. Matter of fact, Brian hates Chris Collinsworth. I don't hate Chris Collinsworth, but I might come around to it because he said Sampson's better than Amari and Hampton. And I was like, you're nuts. But I watched Sampson's video, and Collinsworth he's not crazy for saying that. Sampson has some really good video, dude.
I've never been a big fan of Collinsworth.
No, I don't think you like Collinsworth either.
Even though he loves Tom Brady.
Boy, he's finally starting to look old.
That's about where
Like,
we part ways right there.
He didn't look old forever. He's starting to look old now. What about Tom Brady?
I said Collinsworth loves Tom Brady, but
Does he?
after that, we don't agree.
After that,
on
you don't
much of
agree with him
anything.
about basically anything?
I mean, the main UDFA guys that the Patriots took were a fullback, because there's a lot of talk that Josh McDaniels will bring back the fullback.
They're going to bring back some fullback action here,
Yeah.
which I love. I mean, hey, dude, the Chargers brought back a fullback. They got themselves a fullback.
They were showing it in practice.
300-pounder.
Yeah. And there's a little slot receiver. What's his name? Chisholm.
I love that. Did the Titans run a fullback? I feel like there were a team that actually had a roster, because not every team has a roster spot actually has a fullback these days.
No. I mean, I think there's only like 2 or 3 in the league.
Ooh, quick tangent. Speaking of fullbacks, we're going to get back to your UDFAs here, but the Chargers taking Omari and Hampton and having Najee Harris. Last year, the Chargers had to take 4 running backs into every game. 4 of them. And that's because Gus wasn't quite healthy. I mean, Dobbins didn't even make it the year. By the way, I don't think Dobbins is healthy, okay? Nobody's talking about his knee, but this guy re-injured his knee 3 quarters through the season. He said it was a grade 3 tear in a podcast. He said this openly. Like, how bad was the injury? And he was like, oh, it's a grade 3. They said it was a grade 3, but, like, I feel okay.
Ugh.
And then the podcaster goes, isn't a grade 3? That's a full tear.
Yeah.
So he had an
I don't
MCL.
know.
He has an MCL full tear, dude.
I just feel like if you're putting it on somebody else's podcast, you better be ready game 1. Otherwise,
I don't.
the team is going to be pissed.
Well, I mean, I think he decided to go out there and play anyway because he felt he could.
Oh, like it was last year he played on that?
Yes, he played. Well, this was 3 quarters. So 3 quarters into the season, he injured his knee. There was nothing about what it was. They said it was an MCL sprain. And then later on in a podcast, after he gets back into the starting lineup, he says, well, the doctor said it was a grade 3. And then he was going like, but I don't know. And it's like, well, the doctor's...
So you don't believe the doctor?
Yeah. Like, you don't believe the doctors? Like...
This is one of those, either you're right or the doctor.
I mean, Dobbins is like, he's pretty seriously religious. Like he talks about God like all the time.
Yeah.
He may not believe that God believes it's an MCL. I don't know. But the doctors were like, yeah, you tore your MCL. It's grade 3. It's grade 3. We actually have to go in and fix that. And he was probably like, well, my knee feels fine. Fuck you.
Right.
And the Chargers let him play again, but here's the thing. He had a pretty decent season. If he was healthy, he would be on a roster right now. He'd probably be on the Chargers roster. He's not on a roster.
Yeah.
And I think that's because of the medical. I haven't heard about him going to get surgery. Like everybody's wondering about Dobbins. Why isn't he signed? What happened? And I'm like, especially Charger fans, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure he's not healthy, actually. He said this openly on a podcast.
Right.
Not even a big podcast, okay? This was like a backwater podcast.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like
More backwater than us.
If you're talking about it on Joe Schmo podcast, not the Charger podcast,
No.
like it's bad sign.
Yeah, I mean, that was not the thing to talk about. I mean, teams would find that out anyway.
Right. I mean, everybody's gonna find it out, but like, it's not a good look.
So getting back to the UDFAs,
I mean,
awesome
of course
running
they
back.
brought in some receivers, even though they have lots of receivers. But the main guy is this guy, Efton Chisholm, who is your typical Josh McDaniels slot receiver, shifty, his physicals don't grade out well in any category other than for 2 steps he's uncoverable and he can catch the ball.
Wait, who is this?
Efton Chisholm.
Chisholm.
Yeah.
What's his background?
He's from some small West Coast school. Eastern Washington.
So small school. What you were saying he's uncoverable? Why?
He's just he's one of those tiny little
Super small, super fast.
Edelman, like
Edelman-esque.
80th percentile cone drill, but no speed. No straight line speed.
No straight line speed. Oh, okay. It's all.
But I'm sure it's one of those things. Josh McDaniels probably saw the guy's tape, scouted him himself, and was like, "Let me see that guy in person."
We can throw a quick slant to that guy. Let him get murdered in the middle.
Yeah. Let's see if that guy can take a hit and get back up.
Some guys make a career of that.
Yeah.
We've made a lot of people famous for that.
I mean, in the Josh McDaniels era, they always had a couple, some extras.
The Welker, the Edelman.
Obviously, those are the guys they named, but in camp, they would always have a couple other guys like that, and none of them ever panned out, obviously, so that's, he's this year's flyer of that mold.
Right on. Are those your UDFA nuggets?
Yeah.
I was listening to Eisen. And Tom Pelissero is talking about the fall of Shadeur. And I mean, here's part of it. Like, on one hand, there was this high-end talent evaluation. Like, okay, this guy's probably the second best QB talent-wise in the draft. I didn't know this, but back in the day, Dion didn't get an agent to represent him in the draft. And even when he got drafted, it was kind of like, F you. And then he went on the field and killed it. Right. They were like, okay. But how many players do that?
I don't know.
He might be the last one that's ever done that.
Right.
He might be one of one.
I mean, especially as big as the NFL is these days.
Yeah, like the level.
It was a different league in the 80s.
The level of player, you know, that is out there these days is.
Well, the level of player, but I feel like just like the business aspect of it, it's way more blown out of proportion than it was. And there's a microscope looking at it. Whereas before it was like just sign a contract and play ball.
Yeah.
And if you're good, we'll give you a lot of money to do it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the NFL has evolved tremendously since then. This is decades ago, you know?
Right.
The game has evolved, the professionalism of the teams, the amount of money that they have to throw at this endeavor, like, it's all gone up tenfold.
Yeah.
Like, look at the facilities they're in.
I mean, back then the owners were rich, but after that, you know, the coaches probably made kind of, you know, maybe the head coach got paid, but now the entire organization is just like dripping in money, and it was not the case back then.
Just the level of professional, everything has been cranked up tenfold as a business, professionalism, you name it.
Yeah.
The scrutiny on the players, what they do on the field and off the field. You know what? Here's a good example. The heyday of like these guys partying on the weekends, like these football players, like I don't think that's a thing anymore. Because if you go party on the weekend, you suck on football Sunday.
Why you got to bring up Brian Matthews like that?
Like guys aren't doing that anymore, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's a good thing.
Right.
They shouldn't be. They're pro athletes, dude. Like, that being said, I mean, Shadeur did what his dad told him to do. Was like, F the agents, F all their bullshit. You're going to get drafted anyway and go be a starting QB. And the NFL teams, like, that's what they got from him. And they were just like, no, I'm not going to deal with it. No. So his dad really kind of shit-tanked his value. That's really what happened here.
But I mean, yeah, the NFL team shouldn't deal with that.
Despite whatever Shadeur may or may not be, His dad did not help him when it came to getting drafted in the NFL.
I don't know why they can't just leave it at that. Like, he didn't act like a professional. So the professional football league,
I mean,
didn't think first round highly of him.
all the rest of the draft picks, they have agents, and those agents instruct them on like how to increase their draft value.
Right.
They take them to camps to learn how to talk to NFL teams, how to
Right.
interview right,
Yeah.
how to get ready for these combine drills and make the most of those combine drills. Like, there's a whole preparation aspect to it, and Shadeur did none of it. Did none of it.
I don't know why it's become like this Mel Kiper versus the league thing, though.
Well, Mel Kiper's planted his flag pretty strong.
He did, but just like at the end of the weekend, he should have just been like, I stand that he's a first round talent, and he didn't want to play by the rules. So this is what happens. Instead, he's like, I know more than NFL scouts, and I don't think it has anything to do with the scouting. Like,
Is that what Mel was turning it into?
yeah.
Well, he's an idiot. You're Mr. Mock Draft Analyst. Like, these guys are professional scouts actually making a living, working, scouting for a team, analyzing film. Don't think you know more than the scouts.
And I get it. It looks bad on you. That's your job, is to like present your big board, and when somebody comes off the board so drastically different than where you had him placed, it looks bad. But you got to just take it and come up with a logical reason why that happened. Not you're smarter than the NFL teams.
My buddy Brian sent me this video, and it was former draft picks, like fan reactions. And so it's like, the first one is a Browns fan reacting to Johnny Manziel. And he's like, yeah, we're going to the Super Bowl. Like, he's like, ah! It was great. And then there was one of a Seattle fan reacting to Russell Wilson. Like, ah, geez, who is this guy? Like, God. We suck. This is why I hate this organization, you know?
I told you to
Like,
take
God,
a safety.
yeah. Oh, just bagging on the pick. Like, God, we're gonna suck forever. Like, another one was Trubisky, Bears fan.
I mean, that one is.
Yeah, freaking out. Yeah, we got the steal of the draft. I can't believe it. We got Mitch. Genius. He's like screaming, genius. Because, you know, there's all these draft grades.
Right. I feel like that video should go. They should find that, make it viral, and he can be the new Bartman of Chicago.
They should post that. I mean, there was another good one. It was talking about, it was a draft grade I saw, and they gave Seattle like an F. And it was the draft where they took Russell Wilson. Who else did they take? They took another, legendary safety dude. What was his name?
In Seattle?
For Seattle.
Chancellor?
Yeah, it was Cam Chancellor. It was like, I mean, it was three of them. Three guys that, I don't know if Wilson will get a gold jacket, and he might come close. Just because he's won a Super Bowl, you know? Does he have 2 Super Bowls?
No, because he lost one to the Patriots.
Or just one? He has 1 win.
Yeah. He's been there twice.
Yeah, been there twice.
But he won one really early. I don't remember what year.
Yeah.
But it was like his 2nd or 3rd year.
Yeah.
If I'm remembering correctly.
Another one of the draft picks, Mahomes. When Mahomes got taken by the Chiefs. Chiefs fan going, God, we suck.
Yeah.
Like we're never going to win a Super Bowl.
Why did we take a quarterback in the top 10?
Literally, that's what's coming out of his mouth. We're never going to win a Super Bowl. Andy Reid, blah! He's like just bagging on the whole thing. Like, yeah. Like one of the best reactions out of all of them was that one, the Mahomes pick. This is why we're always going to suck. Like it was just Mahomes. Now, that didn't age well.
Because we have no loyalty to Alex Smith.
Yeah. So.
Was it Alex Smith's brother?
Yeah. But yeah, like the Seahawks got a draft of. He was this pundit's like they get an F. You know, when it's maybe one of the best draft class hauls ever.
Yeah.
In hindsight. So I don't think there's enough. I was pondering on the whole. So last podcast, you know, I talked about Jimmy Bell Jr. a bit, but I was pondering on it some more yesterday. And I really do think this is one of the biggest stories. It's got to be one of the biggest stories of the draft, this UDFA that the Chargers signed. It could be. It has the potential to be one of the biggest stories of the draft, in a way. Or at least the off season.
And therefore it will continue into the summer and all camp.
But here's what's crazy, right? Like, this is as counterintuitive to like a tight end as you could have. I mean, the Chargers have done this before with Antonio Gates. He was a college basketball center or forward, power forward, and he came out and he became a tight end. So the Chargers have a history of this.
Right.
And this is somewhat in the same mold, but it's completely different. Because, so here's what's crazy. You can stick this guy out. The Chargers' goal is to create devastating play action. That's their goal. They didn't have the personnel to do it last year. They might have the personnel to do it this year. We'll find out. They went and got Mekhi Becton. I think that's a significant step towards that goal. They intend to elevate the play of their center and their left guard. They got a guy in the draft that they believe is a guard. They drafted a tackle who they think can be a guard, who only went as low, they got the injury discount. Sometimes these players get injured near the end of the season, and it hurts their draft stock tremendously because they can't be in the combine.
Yeah.
And so you'll have really great players, not with catastrophic injuries necessarily, that fall to really much lower rounds. So the Chargers went and got one of those guys.
Nice.
And they released footage too of some of his highlights. The Chargers put together a highlight reel, and the highlight reel is basically him being a Mekhi Becton. Just bulldozing the interior of a line.
All right.
So he's going to compete. I was explaining this to Brian too. I really believe the lens of the Chargers is they locked down Bozeman for a few years here as their veteran guard / center backup. They know he can play guard and center. They know what he is. They know it's not horrible. At least to them, it's not horrible. To me, it was kind of horrible. Okay? Like, it was really hard for me to watch.
Yeah.
I wasn't happy with it, but for the money that he made last season, we got what we paid for, okay? We definitely got what we paid for. Matter of fact, you could argue he surpassed his money. He was a good value, actually. Because what we paid for him was nothing. I think it was literally league minimum. And we got slightly above mid-grade center. And the guy played every snap of every game, okay?
I mean, that's all you can ask for right there.
Right there. Guy played every snap, every game, was healthy, you know? Kick. You really can't complain about it. But so we signed him as the floor backup, but he's a well-paid backup at this point, veteran backup, which is great.
Yeah.
It's what you want. He's a flexible interior O-line backup.
So now you got a guy coming off an injury to take his spot.
Well, I mean, the point is,
Guy who was never injured.
I don't think the Chargers look at Bozeman as a starter. That's not their lens. You know?
Yeah.
They brought in this Andre James guy. And I mean, Ortiz said specifically, like, we spoke to James before we brought him in if he's willing to play guard, and he said he's down. So they're looking at, like, Zion and James, whoever winds up being the better center is going to be the center. And James is going to raise the floor on Bozeman. So worst case scenario, it's Zion back at left guard, James at center, which should still elevate the interior line pretty substantially. Because you can't make the case that Zion was a bad guard.
Yeah.
He's not. He just, I mean, he was like, I want to say top 15 overall in the first round for a guard. Like, you expect him to be one of the best guards in the frickin' league. That's what is expected of that draft position.
Right.
And he has not been that.
Yeah, when you take a guard in the top 20.
Yeah. You're supposed to be the best guard, one of the best guards in the league.
Although this draft, there was like 3 guards taken in the top 20, so we'll see.
And they expect those guys to be really, really good. They expect them to be Pro Bowlers. That's what's expected.
Right. But in that Zion draft, you know who else needed a guard? Were the Patriots picking at 23 or something. And they took Cole Strange. And Patriots fans will never let Bill Belichick forget it.
They really, they haven't quite gotten the value for Strange that it's a similar case, right?
Yeah.
Like, okay, he's not bad. He's a starter. He's one of our best linemen.
I mean, they reached like crazy on him. He was like projected as like a second or third round pick.
He's one of our best linemen, but
he's not one of our best linemen.
No?
No. If he was one of our best linemen, it would be okay. But he's okay. He's a serviceable guard. They might move him to center, although probably not now at this point.
So, anyway. Getting back to devastating play action. This is something that was publicly stated by Harbaugh. It is Greg Roman's specialty. When he has the personnel to run the play action that he likes to run, that's when Lamar Jackson had his first MVP season.
Right.
This is exactly what Roman knows how to do. Devastating play action. It's going to look like a run, and then we're going to throw balls out of it. Every time you load up on this run, we're going to dink it, dunk it, go big on you, and you can't defend it. It's going to hurt. But it's all reliant on a devastated running game and a dominant O-line.
Right.
If you don't have a dominant O-line, you can't execute this. But where I'm going with all this is,
and a good tight end.
In play action, this is what they're going to do. They're going to put this Jimmy Bell Jr., 6'9", 330-pound basketball center. He's called a tackle, but he's going to be the sixth O-lineman out there on every play. And they're going to designate him an eligible receiver, which all that has, so you can throw a ball to a tackle. For people who don't know, you can throw a ball to a tackle, to an offensive lineman. As the rules are stated, the only thing that has to happen here is before the play takes place, somebody from the team has to go to the ref and say, hey, that guy, that O-lineman is an eligible receiver. And the referee is going to announce it to the defense. So the defense knows, okay, that guy might catch a ball here.
And he has to be lined up on the end of the line of scrimmage.
And he has to be lined up on the end of the alignment. So that's exactly what they're going to do with this guy.
Which is where the tight end would be.
Yes. They're going to throw this guy on the end of the alignment. And here's the thing. In play action, in a run play, the blocking's easy. They're going to tell this big dude, hey, that's your assignment. Take that guy out. Push him this way or that way. This is where the running back is supposed to be running. You take out guys that mess around in this zone, okay? You push that guy into the dirt, which he'll be able to do. It's the easier part of being an O-lineman, because an O-lineman gets to be offensive. He gets to pick his target. He goes to go demolish that target. The hard part for O-linemen is pass protection, because they're in a defensive position. They have to pick up what's given to them. The defense is trying to throw all kinds of curveballs at them. That's not what this guy's going to do, ever. Being the sixth O-lineman, he's never going to drop into pass protection. So if we run the ball, he's going to go out and block like any other O-lineman would. Go take out a dude or two dudes if he can, okay? Which is easy for a guy like this. He's big enough to do it. But if they go into a pass play, this guy's not going to drop into pass protection. He's going to go out for a pass every time. He's the perfect weapon to use in this capacity. Because here's the thing, what's traditionally been done here is you're trying to find a big enough tight end to go out and block, which they're usually kind of not.
Right.
Okay. And then in a pass play situation, these guys are not offensive linemen. They're not designed to pass protect either. But because they're bigger and they're decent blockers, they go out for a pass, but they're kind of not big enough and fast enough to not get covered. Their hands aren't good enough. You know what I'm saying? This guy he satisfies both of these things. Like, overwhelmingly. You know? I am beyond. God, they gotta do it in the regular season, man. I gotta see this. Oh my God. And people should be talking about this. I'm trying to spread the word here because nobody's talking about this. I don't know if anybody else has noticed this, but this is a very big deal. Because if this goes out and works, I mean, mark my words, people here, you heard it first. Here, this is going to be a big deal in the league. This is going to be a really big deal this season.
It's going to be a big deal selling tickets to spring training.
It could start off a trend in the NFL nobody saw coming. Because the Chargers do it. If the Chargers do it and they're successful and it's kind of dominant the way I think it can be, you watch. All of a sudden, every team in the league is going to be trying to get their hands on a basketball center, like big, huge basketball centers. You know?
Yeah.
Like, because this is a wrinkle. Nobody's really, I mean, you think like NFL teams, and it's very rare when the NFL kind of discovers a new wrinkle. It's like the tush push, you know? Like,
or the Wildcat.
This little wrinkle in the fucking rule book that like, oh, wait a second here. With a certain type of guy in a certain formation, like we can do this. And it's legal. As Charger fans, we should be freaking out about it.
Freaking out, man.
Freaking out, man. Because there's not many coaches crazy enough to try something like this either. And Harbaugh is one of them, okay? Completely one of them. I promise you, this is exactly what they're thinking. I'm not the only one seeing this. Harbaugh and Roman see this. That's why they got this guy. They probably try hard to get this guy. The minute they heard, I mean, I'd be willing to bet money that Ortiz just haphazardly mentioned it to Harbaugh and Roman, like, hey, this like basketball center wants to come out to the NFL. You got any interest in a guy like that? Yeah. And they go, okay, what does he look like? Well, he's 6'9", 330. And they go, wait, so he wouldn't be a tight end. He'd be a tackle. Whoa. Wait a second here. What are the rules about eligible receivers? I mean, they probably know it already extremely well. Like, wait, yeah. We could...
I mean, he could just wear a tight end number. If that's all he's going to do anyway, there's like almost no point in
Well, here's what's cool too. if this works, he's still an O-lineman. And the Chargers like to carry 9 O-linemen on an active roster. So, and because in running plays, he's going to be a lineman. So it's kind of crazy. Like, he doesn't take up a tight end spot.
I mean, the roster is the roster. It doesn't matter. You can have as many of one position as you want. It's your roster.
Yeah, but, well, so this is why it's kind of impactful more than you might think. I was going to talk about this too, so this is a perfect segue.
Like, the only reason to wear the lineman number is if in a traditional 5 lineman formation, he's going to line up as a lineman.
Here's the perfect example. The Chargers last year had to take 4 running backs on the roster. Active roster on any given Sunday. We were bringing 4 running backs to football Sunday, okay? Mm-hmm. But because the Chargers drafted Omarion Hampton and they have Najee Harris, I believe this year it will be 3. Because Omarion Hampton satisfies, he's a complete back. Najee's not really a pass-catching back. We all know this. But because of Omarion Hampton, Hampton is a power runner. He's pass pro. He's a 3-down back.
Yeah.
And so you don't. So last year we had.
And he's not yet injury prone.
Yeah, we had to carry 2 power backs last year and 2 scat backs. That was Dobbins and Vidal.
Right.
And then we had Gus Edwards. And I'm brain farting on his name right now, but he was a power back from Michigan, special teams contributor.
But on any given Sunday, one of those guys was going to get injured.
Yes. But we had to take 4.
Right.
But with Hampton now, we don't have to do that. I think there will be, so that opens up a slot. That's a big deal. It's a really big deal.
Right.
It's hard. I mean, that can give you an advantage on football Sunday. So there's a spot. I believe this guy opens up another spot. He's a tackle, but he's a pass-catching threat. He could become a huge pass-catching threat. Instead of, the Chargers had to run 4 tight ends on any every Sunday last year.
Yeah.
But if this guy's in on basically every play, and I think he would be used that way, I really do think this guy will be out there 90% of plays, okay?
There's no way that they're running an extra offensive lineman every play.
You know what? I'm gonna ask Gemini right now.
How often they did it last year?
Yeah. How often did the Chargers use a 6th lineman?
just limits your offense too much when you do it.
I mean,
You don't have as many eligible
so
receivers.
Jim and I can't generate me a percentage.
Just saying that, like that offensive formation and grouping is used a lot in college and high school, and there's a reason NFL teams don't do it. Now I understand the pushback on that would be, well, so was the Wildcat was like a college formation, and that had its blip in the NFL too, but.
Yeah, but this is not. I mean, the Wildcat takes away the quarterback. So, I mean, but this doesn't. This is different.
But it takes away the number of receivers that you can have going out for a pass.
Yeah, but if you like to run 2 tight end sets on 80% of your plays anyway.
Yeah, but 2 tight ends are not the same as an extra offensive lineman.
What's going to happen here is it's going to be 1 tight end. It'll be 1 tight end and a 6th O lineman.
Who at that point is just a giant tight end.
He is, but he isn't. Agreed. He is, but he isn't. I mean, that's how he, play design-wise, that's how he's going to be used, yes. But designation-wise, he'll be a tackle. And then here's the thing, too. It's like, even tight end-wise, like, the way they're going to use him is not... Tight ends are expected to run routes. This guy's not going to run a route. He's going to go out 10 yards and do a jump, box out, and do a jump ball.
Which is a route. It's just a basic route.
They're going to ask him to play center.
He's going to have 2 routes
On
tree.
passing downs, he's going to do exactly what he does in basketball. Box out, make himself a big-ass target for Herbert as a relief valve. If Herbert doesn't see a big play, he's just going to dunk it, literally dunk it to the dude. Dink and dunk. He doesn't even have to rifle the ball because nobody's going to be up there. You know what I mean? This guy's going to be able to jump. He's a basketball player, so he can jump, I don't know, as high as basketball players can jump, okay? Like, he's 6'9", 330.
I mean, you got to get your hand up over 10 feet to dunk the ball.
There's not going to be another player that can jump ball this guy.
We'll see. We will see.
And then he's going to catch the ball, and he might rumble. He might rumble for another 10 yards. He's going to catch it 10 deep, rumble for 10, or just fall over, which is another 5 yards because he's 6'9". You know, like.
I mean. It sounds too simple to work because somebody would have done it already. But so does the tush push.
Yeah.
So, like...
That's the way genius usually shows up, you know? It's like... Not that I think Harbaugh and Roman are geniuses. I'm not saying that. But they are kind of crazy. And they would totally do something like this. Harbaugh and Roman do like to think outside of the box. That is something Harbaugh loves. I mean, that's come across in all the coaches that work with him is this guy's a little batty, and that you can recommend something, and if it sounds good and it's legal, like, we'll do it. I don't care if people laugh at us. We'll do it. Like, he really does not care about that. I was watching, so I haven't come out with my film study channel yet, but when I started watching film on the Chargers, especially their O-line, I feel like there's a 6 O-lineman out there at least the majority of the time. It is wild how often they put a 6th lineman out there. Like, some teams do it very, very rarely.
Right.
Like,
I would say the average is like 3 times a game.
Yeah. Even the playbook last year, I want to say over half of the plays have a 6th O lineman out there. Like, they run extremely high. I think they plan to lean into it even heavier this season. I mean, the only reason they came out of it was because it kind of really wasn't working. And they were like, fine, we'll throw the ball. Let's get another receiver out there and let Herb do what Herb does.
Right.
Because if you give Herb 3 targets, he'll get one. Like, if anybody gets open, he'll nail that guy. If you give him 2 targets, there's no one to throw to.
Right. Unless one of those targets is 7 feet tall.
Unless one of those targets is 7 feet tall, and there's not a person in the secondary that can cover him.
That's what you're hoping for.
Yes, this is what I'm hoping for. It's going to be really interesting to see what defenses do with this. Right? Okay,
Yeah.
say he goes out there and he's doing exactly what I thought he was doing. He's just going to box out 10 yards deep, jump ball. Herb's going to nail him in the air.
I mean, I have no...
What do you do to defend that?
An old school middle linebacker would just light him up. An old school middle linebacker is 250.
Yeah, but you have to play the ball to defend.
You do now.
Under new rules. Under the new rules. Back in the day, they could just light them up. But now, you can't hit guys.
Same as basketball. In the NBA, you used to be able to light them up too.
Yeah. You have to play the ball. And the ball will be so high, there's nobody else to play the ball.
Right.
Like, you can't play the ball. Not over him. Not next to him.
I mean, you can still hit him as he catches it. You just have to hit him in the trunk of his body.
Yeah, I mean, that's what's going to happen is a linebacker is going to stand next to him, wait for him to catch the ball, and then tackle him. Just make sure he wraps up on him. You know? But at that point, though, like, we got our first down.
Right.
Like, all you can do is limit the hurt, But it's a new set of downs. It's a first down every time.
I mean, yeah, yak numbers don't matter if you're catching the ball.
And then in the red zone, Jesus. He's a huge red zone problem. That's not 10 yards, it's a touchdown. Every time. The other players on the team, actually, this is going to be funny. Because Gates was...
Some of the best hands in the world go away real fast when you're trying to catch the ball and getting lit up at the same time.
I mean, we'll see if he can do that, right?
That's really what it comes down to.
They're going to have to teach this guy how to protect his legs. That's for sure. Like teaching him in training camp how to protect his leg is going to be huge.
Yeah.
So Gates was talking about this in an interview I saw this week, how during LT's heyday, like everybody in offense knew that if you get to touch the ball anywhere near the red zone, you better score that thing. Because LT's going to get that ball and he's going to score it. Like if you want to be able to get a touchdown,
it has to be like a 20-yard touchdown.
You better get, dude, if you touch that ball anywhere near the red zone, you better score that thing because LT's going to get this touchdown.
They're just going to give it to LT 3 times.
LT's going to get this touchdown, okay? And the guy has enough touchdowns.
I mean, what was his record? Like 28? I mean,
27 touchdowns, I think.
It was a lot.
What was LaDainian Tomlinson's touchdown record? Oh my God. 31 touchdowns in 2006.
Dang.
He had 28 rushing, 3 receiving.
Okay. So it was 28 rushing was the record, but 31 total.
Yeah.
He didn't even throw one that year?
I think he threw for one too. Maybe 2.
I know he has thrown for
He has thrown for a few touchdowns too. Not just one. I mean, it was a thing. This is going to be similar. This could wind up being similar. Like the whole rest of the team is going to be like, dude, we're in the red zone. If you don't score this thing, Jimmy Bell is going to get that ball, dude. You know what I mean?
You're like, yeah, but he hasn't played all game.
Exactly. Well, I mean, that's the thing too, is I do think he represents a first down value too. So it's funny, the Chargers had this guy, Donald Parham.
Yeah.
Who is 6'9". But he's the opposite of the extreme. He was skinny and limber and fast. And he didn't work in the NFL because he wasn't robust enough. He'd get injured all the time.
Couldn't take a hit.
Couldn't take a hit, and he couldn't block for shit. This is the opposite. Like he was useless in a running block situation, you know?
Right.
This guy's the opposite. He's perfect for run blocking because he's huge. And he doesn't need to be fast. He doesn't need to run a route because he's so damn big and he's a center. He's just going to box people out like he does in basketball. You throw him a jump ball and it's done. First down. First down every time. I will say this. When he runs out, defenses will have to commit 2 to 3 defenders to taking him down, probably, minimum. You can't put one DB on that guy and expect that little DB to take him down, you right?
Right, no.
Like, everybody's going to see it. The defense is going to see it and go like, fuck, okay, time to take big guy down. Which means someone else is going to be open.
Yeah, but if he's really only running 10-yard routes, he can be defended by a linebacker. Because a linebacker is almost as big as him and doesn't have to run 30 yards with him because he's not as fast as Kelsey.
I mean, the linebackers should be able to tackle him. But I think just putting one linebacker on him, I don't know.
Like, that's why, like, Gronk and Kelsey are so good at what they do, is because they were so big and really fast.
Well, they would catch the ball in stride and then truck.
And have ridiculous hands.
They would catch the ball and then truck.
If you're really big and you have good hands, then you have 2 of the 3, but you'll still be covered by a linebacker.
So that's what I'm saying, like the tackling resources to take him down, that's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
Because it is going to take some resources. One, maybe at least 2 guys are going to have to go and try and tackle that guy. It's not that he's going to get away and run away from him.
Right. But I'm saying, maybe not anymore, but I don't think a linebacker has a problem tackling him. It's more about stopping him from catching the ball.
That's not going to happen, yeah. There's no answer for that. I'm just wondering how he's going to possibly open up others. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because of the resource suck he's going to require.
I'm saying if he can show that he can truck over middle linebackers, and they do need to help, otherwise a linebacker, because that was the whole thing, is Gronk was too fast for a linebacker to cover because he could run a 50-yard route. He was that fast. So you had to put a safety on him, and then the safety's not big enough to tackle him. But a linebacker is big enough to tackle anybody. It's just whether or not they're fast enough to keep up with them in a route. But if you're only running 10 yards, then that's just where the linebacker starts on a pass.
You do realize, like, a lot of linebackers are 230 pounds these days, right?
Yeah.
6'3", 230 pounds. Like,
but
this guy's going to
also
have 100 pounds on the average NFL linebacker.
But a middle linebacker is designed to take on a guard blocking him. Who is that?
I mean, max. That's their max. They can tangle with a guard. And they can tangle with a guard in pass pro, okay? There's a big difference.
And the middle...
A guard in a run, like the linebacker gets run over.
No, he doesn't. That's his job, is to take on that block and blow up and meet him in the hole to create a pile.
To blow up the block and destroy the gap.
Yeah, because the center and the other guard take on the nose tackle, and that one guard goes to the second level and takes on the middle linebacker. And the middle linebacker has to meet him in that hole and stop it up. And a good linebacker does that. Now, linebackers are smaller than they were 10 years ago. That's the thing.
I feel like it's almost very similar to a running back taking out a linebacker defensive end.
The linebackers are smaller. The defenses have converted to the pass heavy league.
Yeah.
Linebackers are smaller than they used to be.
Yeah. Linebackers used to be 240, 250. Now they're running 230, 240.
But they're still there.
Oh, they're still
to
big.
Eat that guard block.
I mean, they're still pound for pound.
And to tackle the huge freaking guys.
Yeah. No, agreed. All right, that's all we got for you on the Wake and Bake podcast today. Again, like and subscribe. Catch us on Friday. Friday. Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.